Hey, Taurus, Intuitive Soul Coach here with your March 2024 Health, Wealth, and Abundance bonus reading. Welcome back to my channel if you are returning, and welcome if you're new. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, Taurus, I am getting a strong emphasis right away on communication for you. So when it does come to all of those areas, health, wealth, and abundance, are you asking for what you want? Are you communicating your needs to others? Are you doing maybe the research as well? Are you asking and putting yourself out there? So we're going to dive into the category of health first, so please see the disclaimer. Talk to a medical professional if you're having concerns or issues. And most importantly, trust your body, right? Trust your body, as we have the Four of Swords showing up here. So a lot of you have been working on healing in some way, shape, or form, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially even, right? Healing of all sorts. But this does look like some mental conflict that you've tried to be patient with yourself. Some of you, this does have to do with tempering your own emotions. And we also have the Emperor showing up here as well. Now, Emperor showed up in Aries reading. Yeah, you want to put an end to maybe a situation that has been ongoing for quite some time, a health struggle, maybe even since childhood for some of you. This is really powerful energy. So Taurus, what I'm picking up on here for you right away with this Four of Swords is you know that you got to take a look in the mirror here, okay? You can see that there is a mirror in the background, and I feel like there's been an issue here around maybe skin, okay? Skin, I'm getting sluggish liver, maybe even the kidneys. So this can be motivation and inactivity. Sometimes this Four of Swords, it can be one of two things. It can be overworking to the point where we're running ourselves on empty, right? So Four of Swords is coming in saying, are you taking time to take a look at the problem, or are you masking it? Are you taking a look in the mirror? And it's interesting to note here, you can see this guy's hand. It's like he has one hand over his eye, like he doesn't want to see it, right? And he has the other hand on the mirror, which is actually reflected and highlighted by a bigger hand, and maybe even the feminine version of himself, or maybe some of his own shadows. I mean, Four of Swords is powerful. It's Jupiter energy in Libra, and this can represent lethargy as well, maybe adrenals. It can be abscess, diabetes. Again, I'm just getting sluggish liver or kidneys. So some of you would really benefit, Taurus, from going on a good detox, a good liver cleanse. First and foremost, yes, see professional guidance. But I see here that it's like you've had your eyes closed to a situation. Okay, and maybe that's why you have the communication showing up here. Are you communicating your needs? Are you telling the whole truth, right? You know, when you go to the doctor's office and they have you fill out the questionnaire and they ask you, like, how many drinks do you have? Do you smoke pot? Do you, do A, B, or C? And you tend to kind of fib sometimes on those questionnaires. Some people do. And I am getting here with the Four of Swords. There's something that's showing up that you can no longer turn a blind eye to. Now, this could be weight for some of you due to maybe inactivity or due to not taking care of yourself good enough, especially if you're overworking and you are constantly on the go. You may be eating more processed foods or things of that nature. But I also feel stability mentally is important for you. Stability mentally, because some of you may have gone through a tower moment that really left you feeling a little bit shaken up. And afterwards, it's like you had to regain your sense of mental health. And so I see that being part of your healing or part of your ascension process here. Now, we do have the Temperance card showing up when it comes to health as well. So again, I feel like there's been a level of impatience, right? A level of impatience. And that may be why sometimes people go to extremes, right? Go to extremes, like they want it now. You're having a fever. We take we take medicine for it, or there is something here that just feels very, very impatient, where instead of figuring out the why, I just want to get the pain away, right? It reminds me of even childbirth. Instead of maybe going through a natural childbirth, opting for the needle, opting towards something that numbs the pain. Now, sometimes when the temperance card shows up regarding health, this can be very fast, very intense. It can be an onset of maybe a burn because it's hot energy, right? Sagittarian. It can be fevers, right? It can be behavior going to extremes, right? The temperance also rules exotic places, right? So it can even be infections from going to a different country, and maybe you drink the water, or you get bit by a mosquito or something of that nature. So this can even bring about some of those energies as well. I am getting fever, high fever for some of you. Maybe you've been prone to high fever even in childhood. And sometimes the temperance is also about sports injuries, problems with the hips, the sacrum, the thighs, maybe even the sciatic nerve. Some of you may have had sciatic pain as well. So trying to temper and balance your world. This is your foods, right? Being able to eat healthy, but not restricting yourself so much where you completely go on a crash. I'm going to eat every single burger and french fry in sight, right? It's being able to find that balance and being able to temper, the healthy and, unhealthy in a way, right? We want to be mostly healthy, of course, but I feel if you try to restrict yourself or go cold turkey, I feel for you, Taurus, it could backfire. Okay, maybe some of you that has worked. Maybe you've tried to quit smoking or quit drinking cold turkey. But I am getting for some of you, you may have faltered back and you may have had to do that a couple dozen times. Maybe cold turkey did work, but it's like it took a time or 20 in order for it to stick, right? With the temperance card. They're also showing me with the red robe here. I mean, this can, and we already mentioned this as well, but this can be hips. This can be the root chakra, which problems can even evolve around the ages of 0 to 7. That's when the root chakra is formed. So for some of you, if this is emotional, perhaps there's been a family dynamic or a big change, maybe a divorce, maybe a marriage, maybe a move, troubles in school, something of that nature between those ages. And I also get speech therapy, or needing to be able to better communicate your needs, because you have here, am I communicating, right? Are you communicating your needs? Because they matter, Taurus. What are you needing right now that you haven't communicated when it comes to your health, your well-being? It says, what are you afraid of? Is it possible that what you are fearing is not true? Now, perfect example. You have a pain in your right lower region, right? And you start to Google pain and you get appendix and you get, cancer, colon cancer. You get every single thing under the blue moon, and you start going down the rabbit hole. Then you start getting anxious and paranoid, and then you think you have 5 months to live. So make sure that you are not jumping to conclusions, right? Because what you may be fearing isn't true. Or, get some sort of concrete evidence of what you're telling yourself so you can work towards healing it. Okay, that's what I'm getting here with this. It says, journal these answers. What are my needs? Am I saying no and yes enough based on my desires? Am I telling my full truth? Do I believe that my needs matter, and do I share them with others? Do I ask for what I want? And when communicating my needs, what am I resisting and with whom? What do I need in order to feel safe enough to express my needs? I am getting for some of you, if you're in a relationship possibly, or you're married, sometimes it can feel like you are expressing yourself, but they're not listening. And then it can create resentment and bitterness, and that can store in the liver as well. Anger can store in the liver. So it's important that you express yourself, and if you don't feel heard, then express that part as well, because sometimes they don't necessarily hear, or they don't understand, or maybe we need to break it down into simple terms. Maybe even inviting in a third party professional, a coach, a therapist, a mentor, someone who can help you communicate your needs. Or if you are, single, you could talk to someone as well, or on your own or with another person. I also see family dynamics coming into play here for you as well, possibly around maybe even a father. Okay, because I do see the Emperor showing up here, Aries energy, but we have here with this communication, some of you, perhaps you received a different type of communication from a father. Communication may have been cut off from a father as well, or maybe the way that you saw your father communicate to your mother, maybe there's some stuck energy. Sometimes the hip region, if we tend to have some bitterness, some resentment towards a parent, we can store anger in the hips, and that can bring about maybe a little bit of extra protection around the hips, which could show up in the form of weight. It could show up in the form of cellulite, or maybe on men, hip problems as well. So just look into that and be mindful. Now we have the Emperor showing up here, and this is interesting. Aries also received the Emperor. If you have maybe some strong Aries placements, or you're on that cusp, maybe you want to check that reading out as well. But the Emperor can represent maybe even a sports injury that tends to flare up from time to time. This can also represent an old war injury, right? Maybe you went to war, or this could be battle of some sort. Even childbirth in a way, right? You've gone through a situation here. Some of you, it's a major car accident, or, a situation that kind of came in maybe even quickly. I also get with the Emperor here, it may have to do with the head, the face, maybe even the blood, the muscles. I do see here that it's important to start an exercise regime that's going to get your blood pumping. If you've been maybe lacking this energy and haven't wanted to face something here, Aries season, right? This is March energy going into Aries season, would be a perfect time to get your blood pumping. Get outside, get moving, go for a walk, visit I'm getting travel, like visit a place that may have even, look at the background, mountains or rocks, or get your incline. Maybe you exercise on a machine and there's something here with incline. It could be very helpful. Maybe that's because of the hips energy that I'm picking up on here. Have fun, because sometimes when I see the Emperor showing up here, he can be very stern. The Emperor takes care of a lot of people, right? He doesn't get to the Emperor status without, having to make some big choices. And he may run a company or a business, or he may be a CEO, or maybe the head of the household, and maybe runs a household, right? Whoever this Emperor represents for you, or whatever area of your life. This could even be a professional of some sort, someone of higher knowledge. But I also see here, there's a strict regime sometimes around the Emperor, and it's important to have fun. And that leads us to this next card. Does your life, Taurus, have room for more pleasure and play? And it says, in what area are you lacking pleasure right now? Maybe in certain relationships or with work. Is it possible to shift the seriousness of life to experiencing a more creative, wild, and playful side of you? Yeah, sometimes you feel like that's missing a little bit here. It says, what would happen if you added more play and laughter into your life? Maybe someone's father was very serious. Maybe someone's father went to war as well, or they were old Vietnam vet or something of that nature. Okay, and maybe they were very strict, and you're being guided here to have a little more fun with your life. What area is lacking? So take time to play and let go of the need to maybe produce anything, even if only for a day, because the Emperor is constantly doing something, right? He's very busy, very active. And if you are constantly taking care of someone or, something else, I feel like you're being guided to kind of serve yourself, right? It says, who can I serve today? But I keep hearing you, like serve you. In a world lacking soul-to-soul connection, small and simple acts are what create the biggest and most lasting impact. We shift our own pain and experience an avalanche of love when we lose ourselves in the service of others. So some of you are definitely caregivers. You may be coaches yourself because you've gone through a lot with that emperor. I mean, he goes through a lot. He's not a page anymore, right? He's the emperor. So a lot of you are well knowledged in wealth or in your body or in specific energy, specific illnesses, because maybe you've seen it throughout your family dynamic, right? Maybe you've seen what Alzheimer's does, what diabetes does, what cancer does. And I feel like you have some sort of innate knowledge and wisdom along with your own intuition and your own logic, because sometimes that emperor can be very logic. But I feel like it's time for you to open your heart, right? Listen to your heart. Who needs you? Even if that's you. Do you need you, Taurus? Make one soulful connection today and give solely to spread more love. Maybe even expecting nothing in return. And that can be difficult at times. So notice the joy that you feel when you serve others, okay? Because there is this energy of serving, maybe even helping. I'm getting here like helping or doing your work. If some of you are in a healing or caregiving profession, I feel like that does fill your cup, but make sure you're not extending yourself so much that it's leaving you burnt out or exhausted. And then lastly here, when it comes to health, you have the death card. The death rules the groin area and our eliminating organs, so colon and digestion as well. It can be prostate, it can be bladder, it can be hernias even as well. So I feel the death energy. I mean, some of you, there could have been a major ending, and because of that ending, you had went within, and maybe some of those areas that we just mentioned tended to maybe act up a little bit. But what I'm getting from this death energy is putting an end to old habits or old unhealthy ways of doing things that no longer serve you. Because again, who can you serve today? And I feel like you are wanting to serve yourself. And I also see with that emperor, there is an energy here of you connecting to people who know what they're talking about, people who know what they're doing here, whether it's a professional of some sort or someone who has a little more knowledge in a certain area around health and well-being. So you could even be doing your research, Taurus. You could be doing your research, reading books, and you could be talking to others as well, and then taking what resonates with you and bringing that into fruition in your own life. All right, let's look at wealth. What do we have here for wealth? Taurus, please. Now, Taurus, there's something shaking up your world when it comes to wealth. Maybe a career. There is a big change here. For those of you that are retired, I see here that there could be some big shifts around wealth. Look at this. You have the butterfly. There is a sudden change here. So beautiful clarifier with the tower, right? There is a change that's coming in, so make sure you're not overspending. Sometimes the butterfly can be a little bit of maybe frivolous spending. It can be about short-term energies, maybe being in a little bit of a funk or being in some sort of change or even turmoil, but I feel like it is a short term. Okay, it's not going to last forever. And this is also the energy of 2024. So it probably doesn't come at a surprise. Now look at this. You have the heart card. And this is about having a job that you love. And we just talked about that when it comes to health as well, opening up that heart. So some of you, like mentioned, would make a really good counselor or guide or therapist or psychologist, but you are supported here. I see joint finances, so there could be an additional income source, or maybe you are in a high level of commitment where you can rely on someone else's income to kind of help you stay afloat here as well. But I feel it is important for you to have a job that you love. And it's interesting because in this tower, you can see like the hands coming in from the fates, bringing in this shift, bringing in this energy. And I feel like, yes, it's crumbling down, but it's actually crumbling down for you, right? Not to you. It's helping you out in ways that sometimes we can't always see. But we do have the hand here. And we see that in the tower. So we're getting a lot of the same energy. It's almost as if We have the butterfly, the change, sudden change coming in quickly when it comes to your wealth. And it is about you manifesting money. It's about, maybe help getting a job. Some of you are reaching a goal. There's going to be some quick change when it comes to maybe financial assistance, maybe even money coming your way. But I feel like this is going to help open your heart here. Maybe some of you do get a little bit of money coming in and you decide to spend on something that you've been wanting or needing with that Tower. Let's see what else we have here for wealth. Four of Cups, the Hanged Man, Eight of Swords. Okay. So some of you Taurians, you've been very stressed out. So if some of those areas resonated with you regarding health, this Eight of Swords is saying you felt stuck, you felt trapped, you felt restricted, maybe even felt helpless, right? Combined with the Hanged Man. If these are the feelings that you have felt, that is why the Tower is coming in, to break you out of some sort of a cycle. Because the Four of Cups here is all about opportunities, and you felt like you've missed out on an opportunity here, maybe due to your health, okay? Maybe due to feeling like everything was so serious, a lot of tension here. Maybe you weren't speaking up or communicating your needs, or maybe you felt like you weren't being heard or valued or respected when it comes to your own wealth. Now, with the Hanged Man showing up, I do get something has been delayed, right? It's like a delayed process when it comes to your wealth, money being delayed, or a job opportunity or a promotion. It just feels like you've missed out on the opportunities and you were starting to feel imprisoned, starting to feel trapped. That's why the Tower is your main energy coming in here. Because for those of you, again, that felt like things were just getting really tight, I feel like, or you weren't able to focus on what you loved. Maybe you weren't able to be of service. That's why something is shifting here. And I feel like it's you shifting your own energy, right? Because you're going to add more pleasure and more play into your world. But this Tower needs to kind of crumble in order for you to switch gears, in order for you to move in a new direction. All right. Let's take a look here at abundance. Now, abundance can be anything. And we'll also take a look here at love, because sometimes abundance can be love. Sometimes it can be free time. It can be family. It can be money, whatever abundance means for you. Let's just pull a couple of romance angel cards here for you as well. But remember, abundance can be anything. You have flirt. Yeah, there's playing more, right? Add a little bit of more play and pleasure into your life. It says extend your lighthearted energy to others. Some of you have children. This could be getting your children involved in maybe some of the housework, right? Helping hand here. This could be having fun, letting your inner child come out to play. It says your love life may be affected by children. For those of you who are maybe a parent, maybe even a single parent, or even if you have adult children, I feel like children is you're abundant for them. Grandchildren, your children. There is an energy here of overflowing emotion. And then we do have releasing past energy. This could include an ex, okay? Maybe it felt like maybe ex has depleted your abundance, but we're looking at the good. And it says the time has come to clear your energy. So that's going to help you bring in a new beginning that allows you to open the door to abundance and not just see it, right? Because a lot of you, it's like you see it, but where is it? Why isn't it happening or showing up for me? I know it's out there. I know it's available, I believe. And then look at what you have here, the Judgment. The Judgment energy is, it can be creating a life that is way better, right? And that's what that Tower is bringing in for you. So there is a change here, Scorpio energy. There's a big change because you're getting honest with yourself, and you may even be releasing people, places, or things that were dishonest, maybe weren't loyal to you. But the Judgment is a big energy. I mean, when you hear this, it's about letting go of the past. It's karma. It's almost as if I feel karma was served in a way, or you've learned some karmic lessons that your soul needed to learn. And maybe it has to do with children or with an ex or possibly with communication. Maybe it does have to do with pleasure or play, because I also get devil energy here for you as well. So when this shows up in your abundance category, I feel like there's a second chance. There is a rebirth here for you to shift out of maybe a limiting mindset or a lack of mentality or even a karmic cycle and move towards something more of a higher frequency for you, Taurus. This is also about releasing the past. Again, as mentioned, it's about change, embracing change, healing the wounds, and taking a new direction here. Because some of you, it's like you were ignoring a call to change. Remember, we seen that Four of Swords and he had his hand over his eye. It's like you didn't want to see something, but you knew it was coming. Right? It's like you knew it was coming. You kind of felt the energy here. So when it comes to abundance, you're moving on from shadows or shady. Thank you, Spirit. You're moving away from shady energies, either brought on by you, someone else, or just what you kind of got wrapped up in or involved in. And some of you are hanging on to that with the Four of Pentacles. Some of you, this has to do with sneaky money, sneaky behavior. And I feel like you're letting go of even some old beliefs with the Four of Pentacles around stability. This can be greed mentality. It can be consumerism as well. And I feel like with the Seven of Swords here, it's almost like stealing for survival. But because we're tapping into the abundance energy, instead of looking at the glass half empty or lack of, right? There's not enough. I need to hoard all the toilet paper because there's not going to be enough toilet paper, right? Instead of looking at it from a place of fear, which some of you Taurians may have done in the past, we have here the Three of Wands, and you're saying, you know what? I'm not going to manifest from a place of fear because I know that what I focus on grows. You understand, you have that Aries energy of the Emperor. You have the wisdom of knowing that your ships are coming in here, that there are blessings coming in and you're not giving up on them despite what you've gone through, Taurus. So when it comes to health, wealth, and abundance, you have the knowledge. When it comes to wealth, things are changing here on a very rapid level for you, but I feel for the better because it's freeing you from that stagnation. It's freeing you from some sort of delays or a repetitive, never-ending karmic cycle. And I like that the Three of Wands is your final outcome for your abundance because the Three of Wands is about a return on your investment. So you've made some choices in the past. Maybe some of them didn't feel as awesome, and others of them you've planted some seeds to reap the rewards of some really beautiful growth opportunities here in love, in family, in money, within your maybe happiness as well, because the Judgment is big energy about you saying, you know, I've learned what I needed to learn, but I'm not letting the past define me and bring you down or bring me down. And one of my favorite sayings is you can become bitter or you can become better. And that's what I get here with the Judgment. You can become bitter because of the past and you can shut the door to abundance and you can manifest ill health, or you can learn from it, grow from it, and become better. And that's what I see you doing, Taurus, because you're brave. You're brave, you're strong, you're courageous, you are knowledgeable, you're skilled, you have talents that are phenomenal here. And I feel like you have a lot of blessings that you haven't even tapped into, that you haven't seen yet, that will be manifesting in your world. That is what I have for you, Taurus. I hope this resonates. If so, please hit that thumbs up button. It certainly helps get the divine channeled messages out there to those that need it most. And feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you haven't already. Thank you so much for tuning in. Lots of love.